I've been looking forward to today for quite a while now. Let's see, wait, yes. It's the country award today. I recorded for last year. Um, and I'm going to record for this year as well, which is awesome. Country awards, of course, we know aren't really the most prestigious of stuff. Um, in my opinion, I don't think they should be really used to actually, decide what is best because it's based off voting. So at the end of the day, with the way that anime fans tend to behave, it's going to be based off popularity. So, you know, it's not going to be very accurate. Regardless, though, I'm kind of excited to see what they've got here. It makes for good entertainment, at least. So, yeah, let's jump right into it. To quickly get us out of the way, we'll have the voice actors' performances first. Unfortunately, I didn't quite watch the dub for any of these, except for Mau Mau's. I watched the entire of the Apothecary Diaries in dub actually. So unfortunately, I do know I've heard very good things about Justin Brenner's performance. I've heard very good things about of course Sander is an anime that I really like. Um but I didn't watch any of these other ones in dub, so this is kind of the only one I can vote for. So now let's go through the Japanese performances. We've got Rize, we've got Luffy, we've got Denji, we've got Deku, we've got Yoshiki, and we've got Mama again. Yeah, just keep using that picture, sure. I feel like this was kind of set up for like an MHA sweep now that I think about it. Um, I talk shit about like popularity and stuff, but when it benefits me, now it's fine because I have a very strong feeling that Mario is just going to end up sweeping these awards. That said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to be part of the problem. Um, I think the performances of both of the Chainsaw Men were pretty great, and I didn't watch much of Apothecary Diaries in uh in sub, so I can't really give a lot on that. And Luffy's voice actor is like a legend, of course, but um, One Piece, modern One Piece is kind of I think this would probably be like a correct answer as well. Chiaki Kobayashi over here, but nah, we're going with Izuku probably. Best ending sequence. I'm not even going to waste a lot of time here. If you don't agree that Bump the Chicken's Eye from MHA was the best ending of the year, you're just plain wrong. To be blunt with you, as a My Hero fan, as a long time super gigantic My Hero fan, this ending is one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. And having seen all of these as well, I don't think they can compare. Including this one went viral and everything, but man, if you're not voting Bump the Chicken's Eye here, you're wrong. The song is masterful, the animation is gorgeous, and I absolutely love it. I've viewed it over and over and over again. I'm going to repeat it in case you didn't hear me the last few times. If this isn't your ending of the year, you're playing wrong, if you ask me. That gets my vote. Now we'll move on to not what I wanted to move on to. Now we'll move on to the opening. Ooh, we love this one. I've listened to all of these, so let's see. I have no idea how Solo Leveling keeps on sneaking. And of course, they've robbed the Water Magician, so this is automatically the worst category of all time. Between all of these, to be blunt with you, I think my favorite was probably Dan the Dance. Um, I think Gacha was visually very amazing, but I didn't like the song. I thought Mirage's song was very amazing, and Mirage probably has like the strongest chance of winning here. Um, at the same time, I wasn't really like that entranced by it somehow. Like, as much as I love the song, the animation itself was kind of like, it wasn't really as much of a spectacle as I expected for a song that good. Watch Me Witch Watch is very good, very very good, up there with the top five of the year. But I just think On the Way by and this is like an absolute banger opening. My correct answer, my objective answer would be The Water Magician. I'm sure you know that already. The Water Magician has the best opening of last year. My second place would be Anne Shirley. Both of those aren't here. Both of those aren't nominated. It's over, and that's okay. So just know why my answer would be The Water Magician. I think um, On the Way kind of has to be. Yeah, it's kind of definitely my favorite here. I feel like I was the only one who just outright didn't really like the referral. And I kind of feel bad for that, considering, final season and all of that. But yeah, yeah. On the Way, best opening sequence. Go first. Let's move on. Best score. I gave this one to Dandadan the last time. I think it's a massive toss up between these two movies and Gachi Akuta, of course. Yeah, I think these three had some of the best scores of the year. If it was up to me, um, like Orbital Canon to the back of my head, I would give it to Demon Slayer. But I feel Chainsaw Man Grizzly's um score was just slightly better. So yeah, I kind of forgot that I was meant to make predictions as well. So I'm going to predict that the ending sequence goes to MHA. I really doubt I'm going to be wrong about that. The voice, both of the voice acting performances, I feel are going to go to MHA. Even though personally I wouldn't really completely agree. The opening sequence is going to go to Mirage, either Mirage or Solo Leveling, which doesn't deserve to be here if you ask me. Best score is probably going to go to Chainsaw Man as well. So yeah, anime song now. I think we might see the Chainsaw Man song here. In Bloom, Iris Out, Jendo. They gave two spots. I don't think that's fair, personally. Just saying. Um, this one is more of a personal preference category. With that in mind, I would probably pick On the Way again. I think the correct answer, and the one that is probably going to win, is definitely going to be Iris Out. I would have swapped this out for like literally any other thing. There's like multiple very good songs that came out last year. This is kind of weird. Um, I know Iris Out is going to win, so I'm not going to waste my vote. I'm going to give that to On the Way, because again, I really do like this song. Um, but yeah, my prediction is Iris Out. That's definitely going to win. I won't even pause this time. Hmm. I think we'll handle the Anya category first. Yeah. I wonder who's going to win this one. What's Deku doing here? Does he look like he needs your protection? Look at this guy. Um, Mao Mao doesn't seem to need protection either. Yeah, just keep on using that picture, sure. Takopi, Takopi could win, but Takopi isn't going to beat Anya in the Anya category, man. And that's just not how it works. I'm not even going to look at that. And Sukiya is also here. She's awesome. Uh, yeah, let's get to the over. This is you don't beat Anya in the Anya category. Don't do that. Best supporting character. I feel like I should have saved this for a bit later, but it's a bit too late now. Let's go through everyone. We got Engine Gachi Okuta, we got Gigi, Dandanam, we got Jinshi, Apothecary Diaries, we got Bakugo, we got Lulan, Shisui, lie, whatever. And we've got Turbo Gani. This is very stacked. This is a very stacked category. I don't like how this suggests that we're also going to get two categories. We're going to get both of the Dandanan protagonists for the protagonist vote. I'm just going to go by process of elimination, based on their writing and stuff. I'm going to remove Gigi. Gigi was a nice, welcome character, but it's not really up there. I'm going to also remove Sobrigani by that logic. Um, I think Ludan's arc was incredible for the Apothecary Diaries, and I feel personally she would definitely be like my second place. Jinchi is always pretty cool, but um I wouldn't really say this season was his season to shine. He did have his moments, like the cutting, you've watched the Apothecary Diaries. He did have his moments, but I don't think I would give that to him either. Listen, this may sound like bias, yeah, but I think Bakugo had some possibly one of the best redemption arcs in any shonen. But I feel like I'm glazing MHA a bit too much already. It's not even like glaze. Like, come on. Like, I think it's a massive toss up between these two, and I predict Bakugo is probably going to win anyway. So I guess I might as well vote Shishui. I'm not pronouncing that right at all. Moving on, I think we'll start getting into like the anime stuff. Let's maybe I should save that actually. Let's start with background art. This this is the correct answer. Best background art, come on. It's City the animation. It's not even close, by the way. Well, actually, it kind of is. Gachi Akuta is over here, but it's City the animation, man. Come on. We'll move on to the best protagonist, and listen, man. Listen, man. I think they are kind of trolling with this inclusion at this point. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know what Song Jin-woo does to get involved in these things, but I feel like this is just like a popular. I mean, obviously it's a popularity thing, but this just feels like trolling sometimes. Like, come on, let's be real here. Anyways, I'm voting Izuku Midoriya. I don't really need to meander about this too much. I definitely called out that both of the Dan protagonists would be here. Ludo nice. I think the only person that I would possibly vote is Mao Mao, but I don't really feel like it. So move on to best director. Let's see who we got here. We got the Apothecary Diaries. We got Gachi Akita. We got Takopi. We got MHA. We got Summer. We got Dandadan. Personally, I would probably give this one to Gachi Akita. Gachi Akita is just an incredibly unique show. Um, and I think Fumihiko, I don't know how to pronounce that, probably did the best job out of everyone here. I just think Gachi Akita is just like too special of a show to um like to not win this category, if you ask me. Even though this is obviously going to be an MHA sweep as well, I just think Gachi Akita is just a little bit too up there. Gachakita is probably also winning that best background category. To be honest with you, even though City the animation should absolutely mollywop it, but yeah. We'll move on. It's going to move me back. There we are. It's time to get into the categories that people actually want to look at. Starting with best animation. City the animation. Okay, it's not sure enough. We'll take out One Piece from the equation. Man, I mean this in like the kindest way possible, but I feel like this one probably goes to Solo Leveling. I know Solo Leveling's action can be pretty hard to follow at times, but yeah, I feel like only Gachi Akuta probably competes with it. Takopi, I really liked it for its art style, but not really its animation, so to say. MHA looked absolutely wonderful, but um, I feel like Solo Leveling was just better. So, yeah, we'll go with, yeah, a character design, sure. I mean, yeah, I feel like this one should be pretty. Well, actually, no, it's not obvious. It kind of between these two for me, Takobi and Gachi Yakuza. And Gachi Yakuza is probably the most obvious answer for a winner in this category, possibly ever. And I think it's going to take it pretty handily. So I'm just going to give this to Takobi. I like the way the characters look in Takobi. I like how off they are, how sketchy they look. It fits the whole aesthetic of the show. Um, Trying to look like sweeter than it really is. I just really love the character designs of Takopi's original sin. So I think I'll give that to them. So now we get into the anime stuff. We're going to move to my favorite category, best isekai. Let's do this. Okay, so it's going to be ReZero. With that in mind, let's actually see where the okay ReZero is here. Yeah, so this is going to be the winner, obviously. Yeah, we don't really need to beat around the bush. I do feel like we could have had some better nominations here. Bureaucrat to Villainess was okay. I wouldn't personally put it up here. I think I honestly would have rather had the Water Magician than this, and I also would have rather had the Water Magician than this. Um, I didn't really enjoy either of these shows. Campfire Cooking in Another World is chill. I have nothing to say about this one. Zenshu, biggest disappointment of the year. Very, very unfortunate how this one turned out. Um, Really good show, basically up until its ending. And then you've got a bonus stage for Konosuba. Konosuba, top three anime of all time. Number three. If you've seen me on Fan Battle Cast, you know how I feel about these characters, this cast, this guy, Kazuma, especially. Um, but yeah, it's ReZero. It's obviously going to win this. Um, my vote always goes to Konosuba no matter what. Um, to be blunt with you. But hard. I find it super duper hard to think any other anime but ReZero would take this category. We're going to vote Konosuba anyway, though. Best drama. This this to be blunt with you, I don't think there was any show last year that had as much as an impact on me than Anne Shirley did. This is one of my favorite new shows of all time. Um, man, I'm I'm tearing up just thinking about it. I don't even want to. I don't even care about the other categories. To be blunt with you, yeah, this is my answer. You know, I don't even think Anne Shirley is objectively the best show here. That award would probably go to Orb. I think the winner of this category will probably be either Summer Hikaru Died or Takobi. Personally, I would go with all, but if you think for even 1 second that I would be voting anything else other than my favorite anime of last year by a long shot, and Shirley, you are completely mistaken. And Shirley deserves all its flowers and more. If it were up to me, this would be all six of the categories for anime of the year, but it's not up to me. If you can, I'm begging you, vote this anime. This is such a special, special show in every way possible. And we will be voting on Shirley. Thank you very much. Moving on to the best slice of life. We're voting on Shirley again. I don't even have to. City Animation is still one of the best shows to come out last year, and I love it with all my heart. Of course, we're not going to be Fragrant Flower because everyone seems to love this show except for me for some reason. Spy X Family, I wouldn't really say that this season was very um, slicey lifey, but it's Spy X Family. It was fine. Dress Up Darling also happened, and Blue Box. Anyway, yeah, this doesn't matter. If guys, it's actually come on. We'll move on to romance. I have a good idea on how this category is going to look. Of course, we're going to see Fragrant Flowers, we're going to see Blue Box, we're going to see Dress Up Darling, we're going to see possibly Bunny Girl Senpai, maybe. We're going to see uh maybe we might even see Grand Girlfriend. Who knows? Blue Box, down, honey lemon soda. What? If you insist. All right, okay, we go random here. Man, I don't even want to vote for any of these, to be honest. Um, I don't like fragrant flowers. That's the end of that sentence. I'm not the biggest fan of Blue Box either. This barely counts, if you ask me. And I don't even know why they would dominate this. There's like multiple other, you know, better examples of romance that they could have used that came out last year. My personal vote for this would have been like Kashiwada or something. Um, I think I'm just going to end up giving this to Dress Up Darling. It's Man, this is such a gross category. Yeah, did I think things had gotten this bad? Alright, moving on to the best comedy. I'm going to see Konosuba there, aren't I? No, I'm not. Dress Up Darling was alright, comedy wise. I don't have much to say about it. I wouldn't really call Dandadan super funny. I skipped out on Grandma season 2. I don't really care about it. Spike's Family season 3 was fine. I wouldn't really call it the funniest as well. I would outright call Witch Watch not funny. And I kind of can say the same thing for City the Animation. Then again, between all of these shows, City is probably the one that made me laugh the most. So I would probably give it to them, but like pretty begrudgingly. Um, Prediction is Dandadan to win, by the way. Best action is probably going to be Solo Leveling. I'm not really going to waste too much time on this one. Gachi Yakuta has a shout. I think Kaiju number 8 does. One Piece shouldn't be here, if you ask me. But I'm not really going to waste too much time here. I think now that leaves us down to our final four. I will start with Film of the Year. This is one of the most stacked years in ages for films. We have such a massive big three here. Um, and also Mononoke. I didn't watch these two, unfortunately. I've heard very, very good things about the Rules of Versailles, specifically, but again, I can't really give much of an input. Personally, 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 I really enjoyed Infinity Castle the most. But objectively, yeah, it kind of has to be the Rizzy Arc movie. Listen, I'm not really that big on Chainsaw Man, to be blunt with you. I'm never been much of a fan. Even when it first came out, I was never really much of a gigantic Chainsaw Man head, but I do think this movie deserves its dues, and you know, voting up a movie that I think is just objectively worse, a movie which is just slightly outdone over here. I just think um that would be completely unfair. So I'm going to go with the Razor movie arc here. Best continuing series. It's MJ. Like, come on, man. Yeah, no discussion here. Best new series. Where is Anjali? Okay, you know what? Sure. They nominated Cleavertest here, which is really surprising. I kind of feel like they should have swapped the isekai back to fantasy so that you could have anime like this nominated, because this is like the only way that you're going to get Cleavertest nominated in this thing. Anyways, the answer is not Sakamoto Days, that's for sure. Between all of these ones, I think the best one was probably Takopi, which is going to get my vote here. Not much to really add on that. Best original anime. Okay, Australia isn't here. I've talked about how much I didn't like the disappointment of Zenshu's ending. I'm not very big on Lazarus, and I haven't watched these three, unfortunately. Apocalypse Hotel was visually stunning, incredibly cozy show. I think this one was probably like it's probably like probably the easiest category that I've had to do so far. Maybe excluding the ReZero category. Apocalypse Hotel is just better than the rest, if you ask me. Which leaves us with one more category. It's time to see the anime of the year. These animes set the standards for all of the shows in the last year. Their compelling stories, beautiful executions, and unforgettable characters weave together elements that create true masterpieces, deserving of distinguished recognition. Whether it emerged as an unexpected gem, or which is unlikely because you know how Crunchyroll is, or met the high expectations of dedicated fans, the show selected for Anime of the Year showcases the very best of storytelling and creativity in the medium, leaving a lasting impact on audiences everywhere. That's it. I mean, I guess the more you think about it, this is actually a pretty fair nomination. I called Dandadan season 2 being nominated for Anime of the Year out pretty early. I didn't actually think it would. I thought last year was incredibly stacked. I personally would have put this in the Anime of the Year. I didn't actually think it would get this far. It's pretty nice to see it. Dandadan has always been one of the most like old reliable. It only has 2 seasons out, so it's kind of weird to call me that for me to call it that. But Dandadan is old reliable. It's like when you're looking at your weeklies, it's like, which of these shows is going to give me like a really good time? Um, to me, that was also Spy X Family during that period of time. But I think Dandadan is like the perfect encapsulation of that. You click in, you get absolute cinema, you click out. I don't think it was better than any of these, unfortunately. I think it will probably be sixth position here. But I think Dandadan season 2 is such a commendable anime. I think it's such like it's a good anime. if someone told me to mention a good anime, I would mention Dandadan. I think this is a dream adaptation. Um, Above all things, if and as someone who knows friends that follow the manga for a really long time, the ones who have recommended this shit like so long ago, like my um actually I probably shouldn't say his name. Yeah, Dandadan is good. Dandadan is great. I just you know I don't I don't think it's there. Gachi Akuta, first you have to just I don't remember the song name. Gachi Akuta is great. When I first reviewed Gachi Akuta, during I think it was the summer season tier list, I didn't really have a lot to say. I didn't really think very highly of Gachi Akuta. Now I do. I think Gachi Akuta is an incredibly unique, incredibly um, it's it has one of like the most I should have thought of that power systems of all time. Um, when I think about um, Gachiaku Tamo, it's like, man, why didn't I think of that? Items are important to you being used as weapons. Nice, like a power system with infinite potential. And I can't wait to see how they explore the pit and everything to do with it. The world building in Gachi Akuta is also pretty good. The problem I have with Gachi Akuta is that I just personally didn't click with it. Like for all of its pluses, I just personally didn't have much of an attachment to it. Looking at these anime nominated here, I really think um man, this is like one of the most stacked. This is like it reminds me of the year that we had Mob Psycho, Vinland Saga in like the same, uh, like two of some of the best, best stuff that you ever did see in like the same thing. I think Oshinoko was also nominated at the time. No, actually, no. I must be thinking of one of the ones with JJK. Yeah, this is such a nice six. And Summer Hikaru died. I didn't watch this one, guys. I'm sorry. And like, I don't have any opinions on the Summer Hikaru died. I've heard many good things about it. I probably spouted some of the good things about it as well. I don't have anything to say about the Summer Hikaru died, so I will not be voting that. Gone to the back of my head, I think the Apothecary Diary season 2 probably shouldn't have been here either. I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie. When I think about last year with Frieren Kaiju number 8, Delicious in Dungeon, Solo Leveling, and Apothecary Diaries. I'm not going to lie. I would have, if I had watched the Apothecary Diaries before that point, I probably would have had that over Frieren. I love the Apothecary Diaries so much. It's like one of the most literary, like you can, it feels like such a weird way to say it, but the Apothecary Diaries is like an anime that you can tell was adapted from a book. Whatever you make of that is, I mean, yeah, I'm technically correct, but like, I think you know what I mean. The way that it's handled, the way that it's directed. Um, Mao Mao being one of the best protagonists in a while. I just think the Apothecary Diaries does everything right, and season two is more of the same. But I don't think season two ever really hit the heights of entertainment that season one did, which is why I wouldn't personally have nominated season two for anime of the year. It's very welcome. It's very nice that it was. Yeah, it's very nice to see. I mean, I wouldn't say no. It's a Portugal that this is awesome, but no, I wouldn't have put it there. Takopi's original sin. When this show finished airing, I think everyone and their mother was calling Takopi's original sin the anime of the year. I don't think, yeah, I feel like everyone was just looking at this and were like, this is a masterpiece, you know? Um, and I've spoken about it before. I do agree with a lot of it. Um, I don't think Takopi has the sauce, you know. It's just one problem that I have with Takopi. Oh my. Um, one singular problem that I have with Takopi. I think Takopi sometimes can just be a little bit too over the top with. I don't want to give too many spoilers because it's a show that I kind of recommend. So I'll just say like the spoiler warning. Run away. Um, Takopi's original sin is very over the top in its violence, which is kind of part of the like, I don't want to say appeal. That seems like the wrong way to say it, but yeah, it kind of is. It's like, what would Takopi be without the gore? It would be nothing. This is one of the worst criticisms I've ever given on the show. Don't mind me. I just don't think. I think the after a while the shock value kind of just wears off. It's just a very missing show. The word, like, I think the phrase that I'm looking for is that Takopi's original sin always feels like there's something missing about it, and I just can't put my finger on what. Um, to be blunt, I don't think you should have. You should be very shocked by the one that I have as my top here. It- Say it like this. Hang on, let me plug in my laptop first, actually. So picture this, all right? I think it was 2018, probably. Summer 2000 and no, I think it was summer 2019, somewhere around that period of time. Picture this, yeah? It's summer, you know. Um, you just finished a year of boarding school. It was pretty tiring, pretty depressing at times. But you managed to grab a few friends that would later become hopefully lifelong friends. And some of these friends, they're watching this thing called anime. You've never heard of anime before, right? You don't know what that anime thing is, so you don't really think much about it. But then they you see that all of them are getting into this anime thing, and then you go, you know what? Maybe I should give it a go. Okay. Now, this isn't technically your first anime. You watched Pokemon when you were a child. You watched Inazuma 11 when you were a child. You watched uh Dragon Ball on when you were a kid. You even watched Master Takagi-san. You watched the first two seasons on YouTube completely randomly. So this isn't like your first rodeo with anime technically, but this is your first anime you're watching with the knowledge that, okay, what I'm about to watch is anime. And then you sit down and then you listen to Peace Sign, the second opening for the very first time, and then you realize, you know what? I think maybe I want to watch anime for the rest of my life. I think maybe this is one of the core tenets of me now. I think maybe I want to keep on viewing these things. I think I want to watch hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of anime. I want to base my writing off anime. I want to um talk to friends that watch similar anime. I want to anime. I want to do everything related to anime. And it all started from My Hero Academia in that 2018 summer, in that season 2, episode 1 opening. It was at that point that I finished that opening as the skies were blue, as the AC was blaring. It was that point that I realized, you know what? I think this is what I want to watch. And I've gone ahead and I've seen, I would say, more than 100, more than 150. I'm not actually sure. Um, which may not sound like a lot, but you know, after MHA, I only really started um seriously getting into anime in like 2022 with Oshinoku, and then I really started getting into things. But MHA is just a show that is too special to me. Now that I think about it, that was probably summer of 2021. Don't mind me. MHA is just an extremely super duper special show. I have nothing but praise to laud it, and this final season was everything I could have ever dreamed of. I've been defending MHA for years upon years upon years. I've been that kid that always went, it separates the fan base from the anime guys. Now, MHA isn't actually that bad. Just ignore the fan guys. I've always been that guy. And then watching the reputation of the show just change overnight. For seemingly no reason because of this final season. It's cathartic to say the least. Um, I went into after like the summer anime. I really thought there wouldn't be any anime um better than Anne Shirley in my eyes last year. Anne Shirley like jumped right into my top 10 of all time. To be blunt with you, and I was like, okay, this is going to be my anime of the year, right? I don't think anything can change that. But My Hero Academia's final season is one of my. It was everything to me, in a sense, And staying here in this dingy room with zero friends, zero people to talk about, to talk to about. Um, I saved the final episode of this to watch on my own after I'd finished my final exam, and I couldn't even hold it back. I always told myself that whatever show that would make me cry first would be one of my would be my favorite show of all time. Because I've never actually, as much as I do cry to stuff, I've never cried to a TV show before. But there's a first time for everything, and I'm watching all of my heroes just fly into the air with Bump the Chicken song playing. Yeah, I think that was all it took. So what am I trying to say here? Um, to be honest, this is a really nice lineup. I'm kind of surprised that these were the choices that they went with for the anime of the year, but I am not shocked, and neither do I plan on changing my answer anytime soon. Call it bias if you want, call it anything, but my anime of the year and possibly my favorite anime of all time is My Hero Academia. And this final season couldn't have been anything further from that. I'm super duper proud to see the way that the show turned out. I'm super duper happy that this was my true entry into anime to begin with, and I wouldn't have it any other way. With that out of the way, we'll lock it in. And yeah, I think that's it. Uh, I feel like yeah, there's a way to share these things. Let's pause. Yeah, and let's make my webcam a bit smaller there. I think you can see it. This is my stuff. We got Mau Mau for the best voice actor performance in English because I particularly that is I watched that completely in dub. We've got the best voice artist performance going to Izuku Midoriya. Bump the Chicken's Eye is my ending sequence of the year. We've got On the Way by Aina, ouch, as my opening of the year. Chainsaw Man best score. Dandadan Net's best anime song, given though we all know that it won't win. Anya wins the Anya category. We gave Shishuri the best supporting character. Best main character went to my glorious king, Izuku Midoriya. Both best drama, best slice of life, and probably best anime of the year. Who knows? Went to Anne Shirley. This is my this is this is it. This is the pinnacle of TV. Best Isekai went to the Konosuba bonus. To be honest with you, I'm going to go back in and change my votes to ReZero because it was just yeah, it's obviously going to be ReZero. Best action, Solo Leveling, pretty understandable. Best comedy, City the Animation, also pretty understandable. Best romance went to My Dress Up Darling because the category sucked this year. Best background art went to City the Animation. If you've seen City the Animation, you would know that it probably also deserved Best Animation, which went to Solo Leveling. Character design went to Takopi. Director went to Gachi Akita. Best new series went to Takopi as well. Best continuing series went to MHA. Chainsaw Man netted the film of the year. And my anime of the year, and my favorite anime of all time, is My Hero Academia. Uh, I managed to drag this recording for 47 minutes, which is just fine and dandy. New Dev Battle comes out, so I'm probably going to make a video reacting to that as well. Actually, I made a video reacting to the last one, but the audio is really screwed up, so uh, nobody watches these anyways. So I'm probably just going to post that anyway. Um, but yeah, that was my Crunchyroll anime awards. Um, I was objectively correct, and if you disagree with me, you don't know what you're talking about. With that said, this is Super Moye signing out. Goodbye.